Today is a symbol of the vision of Saudi that is evolving, and it's a vision that encompasses youth, and it encompasses sports for all, and it also is focused on our health. Our health has more to do with physical activity than anybody today really would like to accept. We're not asking for anything controversial. What we're actually saying is today, for your physical well-being, for your physical health, your emotional health, and your mental health, physical activity is important. My role at the General Sports Authority really does not encompass competitive sports. My focus is on a mass participation mandate, which is how do we include as many people as possible from birth all the way to age 99, all of us, to understand that a healthy lifestyle is not only important for your physical health, it's important for your family dynamic, it is important for an economic development of this country. Today we are spending more money on our health care than is reasonable when the solution is in our own hands. That solution is be more physically active. So my role today is to focus on the integration of women into the world of physical fitness, not exclusively the world of sport. Physical fitness affects you emotionally, mentally, physically. It is your personal well-being, and then it creates a healthy citizen. And our goal and our role as a government entity is to allow this nation to have more opportunities for physical fitness and physical health. And that's really what I'd like to express to people. Competitive sport is the icing on the cake. It is also the role of the Olympic Committee and the federations. My role is to create a platform of healthy citizens in collaboration with the other members that work with us at the General Sports Authority. We're a partner to the health sector, and it is our role to reduce the pressure that's coming to them. So when we talk about sports, I beg you not to be cynical, because I'd like you to look at sport as a small part of the ecosystem of the health network, and I'd like you to think of sport as a small, actually a large part of the ecosystem of the economy, which we will get to in a minute. What is desired is really the opportunity for women to engage more. I have been working with the General Sports Authority since the 1st of August, and for the past few months our teams have diligently been surveying the canvas and the landscape of the kingdom to see what exists that we could capitalize on and what do we need to actually invest in. What exists today is an army of enthusiastic and engaged young women that understand their value to this country. What we're looking for is to open more doors for them to express how they feel in their sense of unity. Unity is really important because what sports allows you to do is a team spirit. If we would like to progress with young people and encourage them to be more effective employees in future, today we need young people active in sports. Team spirit is something you learn from a young age if you're exposed to it. And today, from a young audience, I think it's really important that we include women in this, because as the labor force increases and more integration of women happens, I believe we all need to understand what failure looks like. We need to understand what success looks like. We need to understand what it means to diligently practice your trade, diligently practice your skill, iterate and reiterate until you achieve success. So what we are looking for is really how do we integrate this in a way that befits our community. One of the things I've noticed is the private sector is highly engaged. I've really and honestly noticed with all of our meetings that we've had with the different government sectors, they understand it, but what they're looking for is someone to give them a roadmap. The roadmap is what we've been investigating right now, and members of my team are actually sitting in the audience here. And I can tell you we've been working sometimes until 2, 3 in the morning to understand the best programs exist everywhere in the world. That does not mean it's the best program for us here in Saudi. Our needs are different, our culture and our expression is different. The way we engage with each other is different. So what we can promise you is that the programs that we'll be delivering will be ones that help us achieve not only the health impact that we'd like to do, but the economic impact. Today, the value of sports as a sector could equal, unbelievably, 250,000 jobs for women over the next 2 years. That's unheard of. This is a sector that doesn't exist today. And now it's not only a sector that doesn't exist, it doesn't exist for women either. So imagine the double impact of that. The jobs that are going to be created when we think of the programs that we're going to do for mass participation. I'll give you a very brief example. We would like to encourage young people to walk more. We would like to encourage young people to ride bicycles, create hobby clubs. How is it possible to create a club for hobbies which is a sport, for bicycles, if in the nation's capital we have one, maybe two stores that sell bicycles from a professional capacity? Other than Toys R Us for children, it is impossible to create a demand with no supply. So our role would be then to work with young entrepreneurs who I'm hoping are in the room to understand we will create the demand for you. Please come and create the supply, because that supply equals the economy of sport. Not only is the supply that's needed from the actual bicycle, it's the bicycle repair, it is the tourism company that might come up, because we now have an enthusiastic group of young people that would like to travel the world and ride their bicycles. We may even have journalism in sports. We may have journalism specifically to bicycle, which by the way exists in the world. There's a magazine called Golf. There's a magazine called Walk. There's a magazine called Running. What is to stop us from expanding our understanding of every single sector that exists in this economy by adding sports before it or adding sports after it? That's what we would like to encourage you to do. So the value of sports is not only in your physical fitness, it is in your economic fitness. It is in all of our vested interest today to look at the ecosystem of sport and invest in it. It's in our vested interest today to look at it and innovate in technology, innovate in product, innovate in retail, innovate in activity. If we would like to have an elite competitive sports program that represents this country with pride, today we have to invest in our young people from a school level, from an after-school level, to allow them the interest, the exposure, and the ability to practice their sports, whether they are hobbies or not, in order to allow them to escalate themselves. But equally with this, we also need to look at the jobs that are created to support these individuals that are going to be going up. Today we may not have the expertise here, but what a wonderful opportunity for somebody in this room to create the business that trains the people that are going to invest in the growth of our economy. And please look at our economy financially, please look at our economy as people, and also what I'd like to perhaps bring into the room today from a youth perspective is let's not only look at the return on the investment from a financial point of view, could we also consider the social return on this investment? The social return is the impact that our work will have on our community and our young people. It is what will create an integrated and healthy family. It's the dialogue that will bring us back to our roots. Historically and traditionally, we are family orientated. Historically and traditionally, we are a mobile people. It is our recent history that has made us sedentary. So what we are asking you to do is reach back into your root and go back to being mobile for the sake of your family and for the sake of the nation, economically, health-wise, and also community-wise. That's what we're asking of you in the room. What inspired you? If anybody knows my past, I was working I was CEO of Alpha International, which is the owner of the Harvey Nichols department store. When I was working in Harvey Nichols, it was during the time of Saudiization where we were integrating women. The reaction that the women had coming into the workplace was something I'd never experienced before. And learning their particular stories showed me multiple things. There are certain skills that cannot be taught just in a vocational training program. There are certain skills that you will only actually learn when you engage in life and when you engage in the workplace, but you engage in your community. And I found it very, very important for me to champion these women for financial independence. Financial independence means employment, but what I learned when we are talking about financial independence is if you are making all of your money and spending it at the end of the day on your health care, that's actually not independence, and that is not self-sufficiency. For a woman to be self-sufficient, she has to map out all of the different sectors of her life that are important. Family is absolutely and vitally important, and it's the core blood of our nation. We are a family, faith-based nation, so everything that we do will always revolve around our faith, and it will always revolve around our family, no matter what. So how do we enable a woman to take care of herself and be strong and take care of her family is to allow her the resources to do that. And that is really work and employment, and that's one of the Vision 2030 mandates, is to increase women's opportunities in the workplace. Now, the beauty of what I'm being asked to do now, and the reason I'm so passionate about it, is it's employment for women and it's health. I'm also very active with the Zahra Breast Cancer Association, and what I've learned from my involvement with them is multiple diseases actually have the same baseline of side effects: depression, emotional exhaustion, physical exhaustion. And what I've also learned from the experiences I've had from my wonderful, wonderful colleagues at Zahra is there's a lot of preventative work that can do. Many diseases you can't avoid. If it comes to you and God has actually given you that challenge, that's your challenge. But as a community, if we are healthier previously, before this disease or before this challenge, and the disease might be stress. The disease doesn't necessarily have to be cancer. Whatever your challenge is that's coming your way, your body and your soul and your spirit will handle it much better if you're physically fit. So physical fitness is so vitally important. So when Prince Abdullah asked me to come and do this, I believe it was for a number of reasons. Number one, because of the experience I've had with integrating women into a sector that they weren't available, that wasn't available to them before, but also because of the health focus that we had working with the Zahra Breast Cancer Association. And I wish I could take credit for the work that Zahra does, but I cannot. The Zahra Breast Cancer Association focuses on the holistic health of a woman. The expression of our attention is breast cancer, but the work that we do applies to women's health generally, and I'm very, very passionate about that. So to be given the opportunity to positively impact the women of this nation at a larger scale than just the work that I could do with Zahra or with the women in retail, for me was such a profound honor that I hope if I can achieve a fraction of the dreams of the women of this country, I hope I can deliver that, because that's a burden. I'm ready to do it, but to do it, I need everybody's support. And the support that I need is your faith. I need your patience. I need you to communicate with us and tell us what you need. Shortly, we're going to put up the email addresses that we've assigned for us. But we all have to recognize the change that must evolve involves infrastructure, so there's a cost to that and there's a timeline to that. It involves planning and strategic implementation, which we can do at a shorter rate, but it involves partners. My goal and my objective is not for us as the General Sports Authority to run everything, do everything, and own everything. My goal is to make us an enabler, to enable the community and the private sector to participate in this dialogue. Otherwise, we are oppressing a private sector, which is not healthy. So we're trying to look at this to engage you. So my challenge today is look at every sector as a private sector, look at the world of sport, communicate with us, and tell us, how can you help? How can I enable you to help this nation? How can I enable you to dream and create and innovate? How can I enable us all together to really be this future that should be closer? It could be 2030, but if we work harder, it could be 2020. If we really, really believe, it could be tomorrow. But that belief is not resting on my shoulders. I will enable if you engage. So this is really where Prince Abdullah bin Saud, my boss, is a visionary. He could have sold these clubs, and that the money could have gone back to the Ministry of Finance. It could have gone to other initiatives. But part of his strategic plan was to create a development fund for the world of sports. And that today is so significant because it means that every young child can grow up and feel there is someone who could help them realistically. It means they have a specific place to go to achieve this. And it's very hard to dream and then action your dream if there's not a point of focus. And what Prince Abdullah has done today is given them that point of focus and the belief that there is someone that will give them an opportunity and the chance. My role will be to look at how we would integrate women and make sure women's initiatives are actually also supported in this. The fund will be no less than 2.5 billion riyals, and that shows you the dedication of our organization, and it shows you the dedication of this country to its youth. And when we're talking about sports, what's really important, and I think it's quite, poetic, our focus historically has been football. And everybody keeps asking, why the focus on football? We've done nothing but football. But how beautiful is it today that the thing that we were singularly focused on is actually going to be the seed capital of our future. So to be able to take that step of what was and invest in what could be today is what dreams are made of. And so today we're saying, dream. We're going to support you if you meet the criteria. The criteria is not going to be easy, nor should it be easy. Because to dream, to activate, to aspire, and to innovate, you have to elevate. So the dialogue that we would like to have coming out of here is a dialogue of innovation that is elevated, that's not just locally impactful, but is globally impactful. And we need to begin to see ourselves as larger than ourselves. Every action that we create in this country has an echo outside. Every word we say here, every competition we do here, today, through social media, through global social media presence and media presence, everybody knows what we're doing. So right now, let's actually make the decision to actually operate at a higher standard of sports competition. Let's elevate our dialogue in how we engage with each other in our health and our fitness. And why don't we be the ones that promote positive things out of here that could be campaigns and initiatives that the world follows rather than us follow the world. It's a chance for leadership for us, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. But I'm also very proud that Prince Abdullah was so dedicated to keep going. And it has taken him multiple years, and many of you that follow the world of sport know his history and know that this is something he's been calling for years. So to be a part of the team and watch this be achieved today is a moment I'm very proud and honored to be a part of. And I hope you are too, because we are now investing in our social development through holistic health that is exhibited as sports and physical fitness.